All right, ladies and gentlemen, since you've had the opportunity to write different radicals using those rational exponents, now let's look at simplifying radicals. So here we look at what number do you get when you use, 2 as a factor 3 times. So this would be 2 times 2 times 2, right? 3 to the 4th power says what number do you get when you use 3 as a factor 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Both of these are your prime factorizations. So what number do you use as a factor? Now, when we see the square root, 2 times to get 4. So remember, this is the square root. So 2 times, well, basically, what is the exponent of 2 to get 4? Same thing here. So what number do you use as a factor? Blank to get blank. So we want to use the factor 4 times to get 81. So that means we're looking for the 4th root of 81. So exponents and roots are inverse operations. If I could spell, that would be great. They basically undo each other. So if you have the 4th root of something, then you would have the, I guess we could put an x here, x to the 4th power and so on and so forth. So here's our first pair of examples. This is where your prime factorization comes in handy. So in this case, we're going to write the prime factorization of 4, which would be 2 times 2. Those are all prime numbers. And remember, when the index isn't there, it's implied to be a 2. So in order to simplify this, we're going to circle groups of 2. So in this case, I'm circling a group of 2. So I'm able to circle 2. So the square root of 4 is 2. Now this one's kind of silly because we know the square root of 4 is 2. But now let's look at this one. The prime factorization of 32 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. The index we're using is 2, so I'm going to circle groups of 2. So my groups of 2 are 1, 2. So 2 times 2 is what we're pulling out, but this guy is left over. So that one is going to stay under a radical, and then on the outside we're going to have 2 times 2, which is 4. All right, now here, look at the next one. I need my prime factorization of 125. So I'm going to stretch this out. The prime factors of 125 are 5 times 5 times 5. Now this time the index is 3, so that means I'm going to circle groups of 3. So I'm able to circle a group of 3 5s. So since that's what I was able to circle, that's what's getting pulled out of the radical. So that means the cube root of 125 is 5. I know this is tricky. Bear with me. The more you see it, the better and easier it'll get. All right, now let's look at this next one. I'm going to stretch this guy out as far as it'll go. The prime factorization of 48 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And then I have all those A's as well. So A times A times A times A times A. So from here, what I'm going to do is circle my groups of 2 because my index is 2. So let me switch up colors here. So a group of 2, a group of 2. I cannot circle the 3 because it doesn't have a pair. Here's another group and another group. So everything that I circled is able to come out to the front. So that leaves me 2 times 2 times A times A. And then 3A is left over under the radical because I did not circle it. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify what I have here. 2 times 2 is 4. A times A is A squared. And then I'm left with the square root of 3A. So this is the simplified radical in this case. All right, here's our next one. The prime factorization of 81 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. This time our index is a 2, so I'm circling pairs of 2. Remember, the index tells you the groups you're circling, so I'm able to take out, these two 3s, so this would be 3 times 3 or 9. There was nothing left over in the radical, so we were able to eliminate that. All right, let's go to 486. This one's going to be a little bit lengthier. So in this case, I have 2 times 3, and then I believe there are 3 5s. Five 3s. I said that backwards. My index is a 2, so I'm going to circle groups of 2. Can't circle the 2 because there's nothing paired with it. I can circle these. So these will come out. So 3 times 3. And then left under the radical is 2 times 3. So that means I have 9 times the square root of 6.